Hi, my name is Claire Jones, and my presentation today is called A Spaniel Done and His Dog. It's basically just making a few pointers about how the Spanish generally treat their stray dogs, and a couple of the pointers that I'm going to get across to you today is the Spanish dog laws and the worth of paper they're written on. How do the Spanish really treat stray dogs, and a little bit about that. And what happens in Spanish dog pounds. So a little bit of variety. 86 recorded cases of animal abuse were recorded between October 1993 and May 2011. Out of the 86 cases, 57 of those were dog related. Penalties for these abusers ranged from a mere €60 to up to 11 months imprisonment. Only 5 of the offenders recorded were convicted of crimes of animal abuse on domestic animals. These 5 cases were actually throwing a dog from a car. This was witnessed by 2 police officers. That's the only reason he was caught. Other than that, he probably wouldn't have been caught and still roaming free. Stabbing of a dog. There was 2 Rottweilers in a family home. This was in front of the mother and children by the father. One of the dogs was obviously killed, the other one was wounded, and as far as we're aware, the other dog has been rehomed. Abandoned and burnt, left on the street, just dumped there, burning away. One was shot, and others were hung and beaten. Health risks. Some health risks on stray dogs. Obviously, one is leishmania, sandflies, causes skin lesions and weight loss and kidney failure. Rabies, viral disease, causes the dog to be mad and sick, affects the brain, and it's usually kills between 7 and 10 days if no medical attention has been given, and it's usually contracted by an exchange of bodily fluids. Canine distemper, that's also a viral disease. It's the canine version of measles. It attacks the central nervous system and attacks the organs. Highly contagious as well. Obviously another one is unneutered dogs, causes constant reproduction, which could mean obviously a lot of inbreeding, a lot of new dogs on the street, and you know, obviously overpopulation of a problem that's already ongoing. One unneutered bitch could produce up to 67,000 puppies in 6 years if she's not neutered. Pereira's dog pound. As you can see, there's a dog pound van, chock-a-block with dogs, all different shapes and sizes. This one in particular is based in Alicante, in Murcia region. It's the equivalent of death row for dogs. We'll know why in a minute. Spanish government contribute towards this. They intend on putting a lot more around Spain because obviously it's such a big problem. Dogs with no microchips are given a 10-day respite in the hope that their owners will come and rescue them. Ones with microchips will be given 30 days. If no one comes to their rescue within those days, or they're not rehomed, they are sent to the gas chamber, which is on site, and incinerated. So they're gassed till they're dead and then put in an incinerator as if they're not even there. The Galgos, which obviously to us is a greyhound. They're usually used for hunting and racing. Strays off the street are known to be used, usually younger dogs under 4 have been used. These hunters and race dog keepers only keep the dogs for one season, which is from May to September. So in these few months, that's all they want those dogs for. The tighter motorbikes, cars, vans, bicycles, anything that makes them go quicker. Obviously, the faster the dog, the faster the more money they can make. Racing dogs are then usually hung from trees. If they have a long rope, they're made to suffer because they were a bad dog and didn't bring them much money. If they had a shorter rope high in a tree, as a reward, they're given a quick death. Obviously, that seems really fair from the Spanish person's point of view. Behind closed doors, I found 4 pictures which were quite mild compared to some of the ones that I did see. Obviously, some of the ones I did find were really quite upsetting. But I've chosen these 4 just so you can get a brief insight to what really does happen. The first one is obviously a dog pound, absolutely chock-a-block with dogs, concrete floors, wire fencing, no heating, hardly any food, hardly any water. There's male and females in there, there's puppies in there. There's also been cases that males have enforced themselves on 7-month-old pups, which is obviously, you know, quite disturbing in itself, and there's no intervention to stop them. Second picture is the Galgos. This is how they should look like, not too underweight. He's obviously got a collar on. He's obviously been out on a hunt, but more often than not you'll usually find them like this, hung from a tree. This one looks really skinny, looks like it's been hurt. It's got a mark on its back, but you'll find that all up in the mountains, all hiding away. And the last one is obviously a dog that's been rescued, quite underweight. He's got bad skin, losing a lot of fur. He's obviously got a muzzle on to stop him gnawing at his skin, so hopefully he survived this horrific ordeal and has been put in a new forever home. To conclude, there's no specific laws or severe punishments out there to encourage the Spanish to look after their dogs, even if it's just vaccinating and neutering their dogs, putting them on a lead so they don't escape, making sure there's security measures in place so they can't escape either. The government prefer their way of dealing with strays. They employ these dog pounds to get the dogs. They're off the street, they're disposed of in an incinerator. You know, they're quite happy with that. They don't think about there's hundreds of rehoming centres in Spain. They advertise all over the internet, and they take these dogs in their own homes. They use foster homes. They feed them, they neuter them, they vaccinate them. The government obviously don't think about using those. High risk strays carry diseases. Obviously, yet again, no Spanish people go out of their way to vaccinate their dogs. They're just seen as a pest. The Galgos seem to suffer more than any other breed in Spain. Every time I googled, that's what came up. Very few cases of these abuse go to trial. Obviously, the ones that we found, there was only 5. There was only 5 that were punished. So yeah, it's not very nice at all. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much, and take care.